I think just this summer, I kind of honestly just hit like a breaking point. I got to make a change in my life.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to last. Like everything I'm doing is going to be for nothing if I don't have my physical health.
I go hard on this transformation in the gym because I've said I'm going to do this so many times.
It was so much partying, and like after one weekend, I put it on my Instagram, called it the Legendary Toronto Bender. And you're not thinking, you're just go, 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 go. We're selling merch. We're like getting big videos and stuff. So now I got to do what I got to do. All right, Gary's got my back. Every week I'm going to earn the send. I definitely was living like an extremely unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Your enzymes in your liver show no inflammation, no irritation. Your poison levels, the alkaline phosphatase is way down. The filtering rate of your kidneys is through the roof. Your triglycerides are perfect. Your cholesterol's in a great range.
Yeah, it just makes you better at everything you do, right? When you're mentally focused and clear, and you learn to apply it to all other areas of your life. You got to put in that physical work. It's a grind business. You can't take your foot off the gas. Don't come to us with 100K. Don't come to us with $1 million a year. I'm not doing anything that's not going to be a $1 billion play. We would get like 300,000 people on the site at the time of a drop. Our biggest one was $13 million in like 22 minutes. I have to be an ultimate human to be like the best leader I could be.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Ultimate Human Podcast. I'm your host, human biologist Gary Brecka, where we go down the road of everything anti-aging, longevity, biohacking, and everything in between. This is a really awesome day for me, because I have a friend, someone who's been a client of mine for a number of years. I actually just found out that you've been a client for almost 2 years now. He is an icon in the social media world, in the brand building world. You're going to know who this guest is. He is the founder of the Nelk Boys, someone that I'm really happy to call a personal friend. Welcome to the podcast, Kyle Forgod.
Thank you, bro.
What's going on, brother?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
We did a little biohacking before
I know
this.
we did. Yeah,
we
just did the Full Sun podcast, and then we did what? Cold plunge, steam room. I don't know what that hydrogen tub was.
Yeah, we did cold plunge.
My neck was just fucked up 20 minutes ago, and now it's good. So
is it?
Yeah, it feels a lot better.
Yeah, it's amazing. We put him in a nano bubbles of hydrogen, right? I mean, it looks like something out of a sci-fi novel.
Yeah.
Wait till people see the pictures of you with the goggles on and the.
Every time we come here, it's just fun. We get to do the whole biohacking setup. This setup's crazy. So
yeah, I love it, and I love that you guys are so into it. And we're going to talk about a little bit about our health journey. Kyle's agreed to like be fully transparent with it, which I love. So we're going to talk about where his labs were and where his labs have gone, because one of my main themes is I just think people need to get data on their bodies.
100%.
But I want to talk about your journey too, because it's I have a deep level of respect for you guys. Just as human beings, I've gotten to know you and your family and your partners, and you guys are just great humans. We've got a lot of great relationships in common. But you founded the Nelk Boy. You originally started in Canada.
Yeah.
Right.
We started in Canada. I'm from just outside Toronto, Mississauga, Ontario. So I think I made the channel in 2010.
So this is, and when you say made the channel, were you on YouTube?
YouTube, the YouTube channel. Yeah, It was called actually Nelk Films with like a Z when I made it. Just I didn't. Now
you know he's from Canada with the Z.
Yeah, exactly.
He just gave it away.
Yeah. But no, I just made it not thinking anything, just making a channel even to like comment on other people's shit or like other people's videos, subscribe to them. And then I've always just been making videos since I was like a kid, like just for fun, and then I'd put them on Facebook, like funny videos, messing around. And then in high school, I got like really good at like the directing and like editing side of stuff.
Okay.
So like when I was in like high school, I wanted to be like a director.
Oh, wow.
That's what I wanted to do. So I was shooting short films, like even serious shit, like not pranks.
Really?
We were doing both. We'd shoot like serious shit. We'd shoot like sketch comedy, and then we'd go fuck around and do a prank. Like we were doing everything.
Really?
But for the short films, I was like winning awards and stuff.
And you were trying to put together an actual film, like a real story, like a short movie.
Yeah, like short films. Yeah, like we would enter the competitions in school and stuff, and we would win. I would win every single year. So then, my parents obviously wanted me to go to university to like get a degree and stuff too. Right. And so I applied to this film program that it was like you get the college real world film experience, but you also get a degree. So that was like the program I really wanted to get into. I got into that. I was like, all right, this is sick. Like this is the directing program I want to be in, Then we were still doing YouTube on the side, and our YouTube started to like pick up, We'd get like 10,000 views, and then 15,000 views. And then like one video would hit like 200,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, and I was in school and I was just like,
You're in high school?
no, I was in like university at the
okay.
time, like first semester in university when the YouTube started to like take off. I think we were at like 30,000 subscribers.
Okay.
And I was just in the school and I was just like, I don't feel like I'm actually like learning anything that's actually going to help me make it, you know?
You weren't passionate about
Like when
it.
you're getting a degree too, like you're not just doing film. Like I had to take like an art class where I'm like drawing shit and I can't draw for shit. Or I had to take like art.
I can't either.
I had to take like art history. Just like, you know what I mean? Like you're just sitting there. And then
All the
when it did come to the film classes, not to like shit on university teachers, but you're kind of learning from someone that didn't really like make it at the end of the day.
Right.
But obviously you can learn a lot of stuff, but you know what I mean? Like I just didn't feel like they were focused on like the business of film. Like everyone there would like say like their favorite movie was like some Japanese art film I've never heard of. And I was like, how are you guys going to make like a living doing this? You know,
Right.
I like just watching like Hollywood movies and I wanted to like do that, you know? So then I decided to drop out and I told my parents, I was just like, listen, if I want to be a director or be my own like businessman, be my own boss, I feel like this YouTube route is the way to go. Cause like I could build my own platform. I could build my own audience.
That was early in YouTube too, man.
Early.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was something called the YouTube Partner Program. And it was where you could make money off YouTube. They had like almost just introduced it.
Okay.
And I was watching all the YouTubers and they were getting like millions of views. And they were in the YouTube Partner Program. And I was like, there's no way you can like make a living off doing YouTube.
Yeah.
Like I was like, that sounds like the fucking dream.
This was before anybody who knew what an influencer was.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, there were no influencers.
This was like 2012.
Yeah.
Around there, 2012, 2013. So
Pre-influencer
it was
era.
totally different,
Yeah.
you know? And yeah, I saw all those YouTubers doing it and they were making money and they were like, you know, getting rich off YouTube too. Like
Yeah.
they were balling. And I was like, damn, like that would be the dream. So once we got that little bit of traction, we started making like $1,000 a month. Like I remember our first check from Google was like you got it in the mail.
Yeah.
Like I was so pumped to like, I kept checking the mailbox every single day. I was like, when's this coming?
'Cause it
When's
was
this
like-
coming? Because you got the email like, all right, you're being sent like $530. And then like I went in the mailbox and
And was
checked
this
it.
just people watching your videos and they're throwing ads on them?
Yeah, they're
Okay,
throwing
cool.
ads on it. So yeah, I remember we got that first check. It was like, yeah, $500 or $250, something like that. But I was like, this is like sick.
This is legit. I got a
yeah,
business.
Yeah. And then we were making enough money to kind of just sustain the operation. Like we weren't pocketing money, you know, but we made enough to like start traveling or whether we had to buy props or, you know, we got to buy new SD cards or the camera breaks. Just enough to kind of fund that
And
operation.
what were you like focusing on? Were you pranks mainly?
We were
was that
doing,
what was
we were
getting
doing
a lot
like
of traction?
skits, like short sketches. But then, yeah, the pranks is what really, that's when it started to like kind of take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jackass was kind of biggish around that
for sure.
era.
Yeah.
And so was it like kind of like
There was like a whole group of pranks was like a huge like trend on YouTube that everyone was doing. And I think we were trying them out and we were getting like traction on it. But I think everyone was kind of trying to copy that typical prank formula since everyone else was doing it. But when we got big was when we really just kind of started being ourselves and like drinking beers, like making cocaine jokes, like just saying like shit that no one else was saying on YouTube. I think everyone was very PG.
Okay.
So when we would go to like an LA party and like shotgun a beer and like people would look at us like we're aliens.
Well, I remember your trip to Mexico that you guys did. That whole, that was a couple years later, but that was pretty intense.
Yeah. Which, I think we did.
I know you went to a winery and got wine all over yourselves. And like,
that's one of our funny ones. We did the wine tour where we'll go
the wine tour.
Basically ruin a wine tour.
We'll have to run some B-roll of that into the podcast because it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So you're making all, so you're doing pranks, and you're doing it on YouTube, and you're starting to make money. And what's gaining traction is just you guys being yourselves, and you're just who's making up the scenarios that you're doing? Would you guys sit down and plan this shit? And
Probably all of us just brainstorming, whether you're in the car or just chilling. Like my mind's always going.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking on planes. Like I'll wake up to take a piss in the middle of the night, and I might honestly think of an idea that we use. Like
And
I
then
feel
you
like my
guys go-
mind never shuts off.
Yeah.
So it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I mean, like, it's good. There's something called consummate overachiever profile where people they hold themselves to a really high standard in whatever they're doing, right? It could be vlogging, pranks, Instagram, YouTube, football. It could be professional sports. We actually looked at your genetic profile, and you have this consummate overachiever profile, which is where your mind is just constantly running.
Yeah.
Right. And you're never satisfied with the status quo.
No.
And that's why a lot of people get to a certain position in life, and you look at them and you go, why is this guy still going? Right? I mean, doesn't he have everything he wants? And so theoretically, you could throw it in neutral right now. But what was the transition from doing these videos and gaining eyeballs on YouTube? You started to turn it into a real company, like real products.
I think
real
on the business side and the financial side, and we started like when we would travel, we would stay at fans' houses because we couldn't even afford to like stay in hotels because of how much we were traveling. So we literally started like pretty much just broke, like I said. So yeah, we would put on Snapchat and we would say like, hey, we're in Dallas, like who can we crash? Who can we crash at? And then I would go on Snap and I'd like kind of vet them, talk to them for a sec, and then I'd FaceTime them. And I could just kind of get a gauge after that if they were like weird or not. Yeah. And no one was ever weird. We probably stayed at like 30 different fans' houses. Really? We just crash on their couch or wherever they'd let us stay.
Dude, those fans nowadays are like, dude, that ain't on my couch.
Yeah, we still tap in with like a lot of them and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool because they were part of like the early chapter.
But when we started to like make it more on the business side, what really kind of we'd do like an odd brand deal, but our whole thing was that YouTube stopped paying us because we were too like R-rated.
Controversial.
Yeah, so
they didn't cancel you though.
They didn't cancel us. Almost they did, but yeah, they stopped paying us. So we weren't making any money off YouTube. Like that $500 check was like, we made more back then than like when it came to like 2015, 2016, we weren't making anything.
Wow.
So we're like, and that was just because we were R-rated. We were making those type of jokes. YouTube didn't want to monetize our videos. Okay. So, but it was honestly a blessing in disguise because it kind of forced us to get smart. And it's like, okay, now if YouTube's not paying us, how do we build like businesses around our audience? So what we did was we launched like merch. So
that's like a real tipping point.
It was huge. I mean, it was like
I think the best entrepreneurs do that.
Yeah, and it was a blessing in disguise because all these other YouTubers that kind of like they're making hundreds of thousands a month. Yeah, and we're just watching. We're like, fuck, like we're not making that. So but I think it was a blessing in disguise because like those people didn't really have to build anything long term. Right, they were just getting that quick money, but I hope they saved it because now they don't have anything long term. You know what I'm saying? We were forced to build like a brand that. You know, so we launched merch, and then we would do it where.
And were you still in Canada at this time?
No, we were going back and forth, but we were probably in LA. Okay. Yeah, back and forth.
The most important part of my morning routine, beyond any shadow of a doubt, is breath work. I decided to write a free 3-day breathwork guide and host a 3-day breathwork challenge absolutely free. Go to theultimatehuman.com, theultimatehuman.com, download the free breathwork guide and join me for a 3-day breathwork challenge. It's completely free. I will see you guys there. Most of us have a very difficult time meeting our protein needs, and certain protein sources like whey protein and others can be as little as 20% absorbable. This is 99% absorbable, and it has all of the essential amino acids that the body needs to build lean muscle, to recover, to improve our exercise performance, and most importantly, to repair after we have intense exercise. So this is called Perfect Amino by Body Health. It's, like I said, 99% absorbable. It only has 2 calories. Eventually, the caloric intake has virtually no caloric intake. It will not break a fast. It tastes amazing. You mix it in water. I take this literally every single morning. If you're working out in a fasted state, you have to take a full spectrum amino acid prior to your workout to preserve your lean muscle and make sure that you're recovering properly. And again, it will not break your fast. So the caloric impact is virtually zero. You get all of the full spectrum amino acids. It tastes wonderful. I use it every single day. You can go to bodyhealth.com/ultimate. That's bodyhealth.com/ultimate and look for the perfect aminos. They actually come in capsules if you're on the go, or it comes in several flavors that they make in a powder, which I love. It's flavored with natural means of flavoring, so there's no artificial sweeteners in here.
So this is one of my absolute favorite products. Give it a try. If you're working out at all, you need a full spectrum amino acid. Go to bodyhealth.com/ultimate. That's bodyhealth.com/ultimate. I love their lab tested products. You can actually see the absorption rate for all of their products. They've got great electrolyte protein combinations. My favorite is the perfect aminos. bodyhealth.com/ultimate. And now back to the Ultimate Human Podcast.
Canada, LA, and now Miami. But so you're in LA, you're still getting eyeballs on YouTube, but then the eyeballs aren't monetizing it. So you're like, how do we build a product around this?
Yeah. So we just decided to do merch. And what we would do for that is we tried to go like more like high end, quote unquote, with it. It was kind of more like a clothing line. And we coined the term full send.
Okay.
So we heard, like, I think I heard one of my buddies say it.
Yeah.
And then we just started saying it in videos, full send. And it just became like, you know,
it's a household
that
term
term's
now.
like bigger than us. Like you don't need to know Nelk to know the name like full send.
No, it's so true.
So we started putting it on shirts and stuff, and we would do it limited. So we'd only make like 2,000. Once it sells out, it sells out. We never restock that design. So it kind of became like the supreme of like YouTuber merch.
It did. Like I actually have a confession to make and a little bit of a bone to pick with you because my son was like, youngest son, Dylan, was adamantly following you guys. And he'd be like, Dad, can I use your credit card? I want to, there's a merch drop this month.
way.
I'm like, what do you mean a fucking merch? What? Like, first of all, what's a merch drop? He's like, oh, dude, you know, Full Send's doing a merch drop. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I want to get
That's
a
dope. I
lanyard.
didn't know
So
that.
I'm like, yeah, here, I swear to God. I think I still have it. And I want my $52 back, by the way. He paid $52 for a lanyard. So he takes my Amex and he buys this thing and it comes to the house. And I was like, what is this? And it was like a little lanyard that said Full Send on it, had a little, I'm like, you paid $52 for this thing? Who are these guys? Right?
That's crazy.
So your shit was
$52.
working. It was $52, you guys. Or it
shit,
might
I
have
don't
been
know
a
about that.
reseller. Like you would drop the merch.
Stuff would get resold.
And then it would sell out. And he was like, I had to get it on a third-party website. Yeah, that's it. Can you throw me that thing? Let me show you guys what I've paid $52 for.
Yeah, I think we were selling them for $10. But
Okay, well, my son paid $52 on a reseller website. So can I keep this now?
yeah.
All right, cool. There's my Full Send.
a bottle
Full
opener,
Send.
too.
Yeah, it's a bottle opener
Yeah.
too. See, he's trying to build value in it. That's an entrepreneur right there. It's not just a lanyard; it's also a bottle opener. But I mean, you know, hats off to you guys because I know I could not have been the only parent that was like funding this, and he was cultishly addicted to it because I remember he kept talking about these merch drops. So these are these merch drops.
Yeah, it was crazy. Well, and it was kind of crazy because like our fans were the ones. That's literally how we were making our money. Like we were not doing any brand deals. Like no brands wanted to fuck with us either. Like
Right.
YouTube didn't want to pay us. If there was a brand deal, it was minimal money. It wasn't worth our time. No big brands wanted to touch us. So the only way we were making money is off these merch. Like we would make videos for our fans. They were buying merch, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And we do bigger and bigger drops. And like,
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's really done what we've done with merch in like that space.
Can we talk about the numbers? You comfortable talking about
Yeah.
this? Like what are we talking about?
At the height of it, it was like we would get like 300,000 people on the site at the time of a drop.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you would you using YouTube to tease this?
YouTube,
and you
Instagram, all our socials. So
build
we'd build
it.
up the hype, we'd say the date, and we'd plan like a whole trip. We'd kind of see when our merch drop was going to be. So it's like, all right, we want to do a trip. We're going to, like, we went to Europe for 8 weeks and we shot and edited and uploaded a video every single week.
every week.
So we'd go to Germany, shoot the video, like shoot for 4 days. Then the editors would be there. They'd get the footage. They'd edit it. They'd have 3 days to edit it. We'd post it. Boom, it's live. And in that video, we'd announce, all right, guys, in 2 months, we have a Full Send drop. It's going to be the summer drop.
Okay.
And then we'd upload every single week.
And
And
then
it
you
would
try
constantly
to make it
build the
somewhat
hype.
scarce, right? Like so that
Yeah.
so things would always sell.
We'd
out.
always make it scarce to where, and they were selling out in like 5 minutes.
Wow.
But yeah, we would always show how many people we had on the site. And yeah, I think at the height it was like 305,000 people.
That's insane.
Our biggest one was like $13 million in like 22 minutes.
No.
Gross revenue. Yeah.
$13 million in 22 minutes. Now you guys know
Done.
you're on to something.
Yeah. I mean, it was insane.
Wow.
It was fucking crazy.
So then where does it go from there? Because now now the merch is a part of the journey, and people are like, I mean, dude, I see it everywhere now. I mean, we'll get to that. UFC, Happy Dad, Full Send. I mean, you guys have just done incredible, especially in what I consider to be a really kind of super competitive space. There's so much noise out on social media. You know, I often think about how do you break through all that noise, and so you got merch drops, you're traveling, you're doing these. You're continuing to use videos. The YouTube channel, I assume, is blowing up at this point too. Did they ever come back and start monetizing YouTube?
No, we still don't get monetized. Even on the Nelk channel right now, we don't.
Really?
The podcast is a little more brand safe, and YouTube likes podcasts. But we don't even care about the ad money. And then you also now you can't use copyright music.
No.
So we rather use like a 50-cent song and a montage than use some royalty-free shit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I mean.
So you start dropping the merch, and then it continues to evolve, right? Where do like the Shahidis and brothers come in? And
yeah. So yeah, merch is killing it. We're just like, we're doing our thing. And then, yeah, I was always just kind of like, obviously we were living in LA at the time too. Now we're full-time LA. And I always just want to, I was always looking for the right people to come in and just kind of help me like legitimize the business, because like I was pretty good at what I did too, but I'm also like a creative mind too. Like I don't have real life business experience. Right. So, we'd meet different people, and I was always keeping my eye out. I know we needed someone to come in and kind of run the business side of things properly. If we want to really build like $1 billion brand.
Yeah.
So I would meet like some people, and we honestly even partnered with like bad apples. Like we got close to like, holy shit, we would not be here if we partnered with those type of people. But
yeah. And I think every entrepreneur goes through that at some point.
And you got to be careful. Don't partner with, be very careful. I'm sure about choosing your partners.
Oh.
God.
It's like choosing your spouse.
I mean, it is. You got to be very careful. But yeah, I met John and Sam. I think that, I think John had DM'd me. But he was out to dinner with, he told me the story. He was out to dinner with Justin Bieber, and we were at the same restaurant. And we had talked online, me and John. But then I think like...
In LA?
Yeah. Justin had like, he's from Canada too. So he'd seen our shit. Yeah. And I think he'd like fucked with the videos. So he asked John if we could go say hi to... like come up to us. So like they came up to our table. I was like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah, this is Justin Bieber. Yeah.
I've looked up to him like growing up in Canada, just like what he was able to achieve. And then we met that way, and I met John that night. And then I think we grabbed dinner, me and John and Sam, like literally the next night. And we kind of just talked, and like they said, listen, like
no, they were talent managers, right? I mean, Bieber, like Anita, like
they were managing talent, and then Bieber invested in their company. The Shots company. Yeah. So they were working with like, I would see John like through Bieber stuff too. So I was kind of like aware of them, but I didn't really know exactly what they did. But yeah, when we met at dinner, we just honestly kind of like instantly clicked.
Yeah.
Even just as like friends,
like
we just vibed.
Humans,
they're the best. And
Super
then they kind of just said like, yo, how can we help? Yeah. Like we'd love to do something with you guys. Like we know the merch is already kind of killing it. We don't want to step on any toes there, but they're like, how can we help? And I was like, listen, if you guys want to project manage something, I was like, I want to start a fucking alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, if you guys want to take that project on and you guys project manage that, I was like, let's do it. Because
so that's the genesis of Happy Dad Seltzer.
What I kind of didn't say too is that in all those videos we were doing, we were drinking like fucking fish. Yeah. Every fucking video. Like we were drinking Coronas, and we repped, we would say Rona season. So, and we were selling, Corona wouldn't pay us too. Like we kind of tried to contact them, but they didn't want to touch us.
Right.
Because we're like drinking in public at that point and like doing crazy shit. I kind of understand it now that I'm in the alcohol space. But we were selling Rona season shirts. I kid you not, we sold 20,000 in 24 hours.
No. That just said Rona season.
Rona season. So
dude,
I was
what
like,
was that doing for their brand?
And I would go, then I'd pull up to frats and we'd pull up to parties and everyone's drinking Corona. And everyone's in real life saying Rona season, Rona season. And I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, we have a fucking influence on this shit. Like we have a real influence. And when I saw what we did with Corona, I was like, I'm not doing anything in alcohol that's not going to be $1 billion play. I was like, don't come to us with $100K. Don't come to us with $1 million a year. Like other alcohol companies would come to us and be like, hey, want like between all of Nelk, you guys want like 10% of this alcohol company? And I was like, get the hell out of here. Like,
yeah.
This play is going to be $1 billion play. So when I met them, that's why I said, I want to start an alcohol.
Wow.
So after that, we just did it. And
but
then,
did you guys go through a whole bunch of iterations? Should we do
of
tequila?
course.
Should we do vodka? Should we do a seltzer?
Yeah, I think we knew at that point that I wanted to do a seltzer because we had started drinking seltzers at that point. And even back then, everyone was starting. We were hitting the gym, and we knew seltzers were like slightly more healthy. Alcohol's not healthy. We can't.
Right.
You can't say it's healthy. Yeah. But yeah, beers, like, you know, they bloat you, high in carbs and stuff. Like we were talking about it on the Full Sun pod. So we knew we wanted to start a seltzer. And then they brought in the Butow brothers, who are our partners as well. They have like a long history in the alcohol industry. And we kind of started from a point of this like seltzer. And then we tasted it. We said, change this. But it was completely from scratch.
Wow.
So it took
that's a crowded space too. I mean, the seltzer space is crowded.
It was more, yeah, it was crowded. It's more crowded, I think, over the last 2 years than it was then. But yeah, it took us probably like 1.5 years between the different taste tests to get the flavor to where we wanted it.
Before you launch it.
Yeah, because we would try it, say, all right, change this. This one needs less sweetener. This one needs more. This one's too carbonated, like flavor-wise.
Right.
And then it would take another month to get the sample back. Then it's like, oh, almost there. Change this, change that.
Wow.
It took us like, yeah. 8
they
or
are
10.
pretty good, man. I don't rep alcohol, but they are good, man.
I think it's the best seltzer out there for sure.
It is. It's freaking delicious. But you're breaking into you know, kind of I don't want to say bratty brand in a negative way, but you don't have like the icon of Budweiser or you know, big established brands, and you're breaking into a crowded space. How did you get distribution? I mean, how do you get Southern Wine and Spirits and shelf space if, you know, you don't have that?
So that was kind of like, that's what I kind of looked for from John and Sam. And they honestly, they are doing a fucking insane, incredible job.
I talk to Sammy sometimes, John too, and they just blow my mind with their business acumen. Yeah. I'm like, where did these guys come from? They're like business
That's what I mean about choosing good partners, is that like, I knew that what Nelk brought to the table, I think when you're choosing a partner, you got to realize like what you bring to the table and what the other people are going to bring to the table. And like each person has to play their role properly, you know?
Right.
That's why like we're not going to be able to build Happy Dad by ourselves. Like I'm aware of our influence. I'm aware of like what we can do to make people buy it. But I don't want to know about trucks and fucking what shipments are going, like what. So like, you got to know when to like let go of like what you're good at and what you're not good at, you know? Right. So that's what like Sammy and John are doing, like the business side of Happy Dad. They're absolutely crushing it.
No, they're killing.
But what John did was, the GoPuff founders like Raph and they're some of the first to believe in us. Great and people too. They got us in Bevmo, which is the biggest chain in California.
Okay.
So
and Grutman too, is he?
Grutman's been like an amazing, he helps us out like crazy. He got it into all his restaurants, and obviously he's connected us with so many different people.
Yeah, same with me, man.
David Booth at RNDC. So just like, that's how it kind of started. And then we just used our sales data to, you know, once it started selling in Bevmo, which is the biggest chain in California, then Total Wine calls, then then eventually we can pitch it to Publix. And it's just a domino effect.
Still organically building the brand, right? I mean, like
so all basically, through the same way we did merch. It's like it's in the videos, it's on Instagram. Now when we're shooting videos, it's like, yo, how are we going to integrate Happy Dad into the videos? Yeah, right.
And then you got the YouTube channel. You're integrating it into the videos, but then you're also doing you go to destinations and you do pop-ups and you do other things.
Well, the alcohol industry is such an old school business, right? So it's really a shaking hands business that you got to put in that physical work. And it's like, it's a grind business. You can't take your foot off the gas. So we're also aware, like, if we pull up, like, I think next week we got to go to like South Carolina, and we're going to like a couple like butt.
And what do you do? You parachute into South Carolina and you hit a couple.
We'll pull up to liquor stores, announce we're going to be there. Yeah. Go meet the liquor store owners, thank them for carrying us, like supporting us as well. And then, we'll draw a crowd there, probably like 300 people or whatever. Like some are bigger than others. Right. We'll sell the shit out of the product, but then we'll also kind of drop like a local bomb when we go there. Because
Yeah.
we'll hit the small towns, right? We're not going to like just like Dallas, LA, New York, Miami.
Right.
Like we're going to like butt fuck nowhere, South Carolina. We'll go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
We like hitting the small towns.
Dude,
and,
I
like,
love that.
Where there's
And-
nothing going on. So then everyone like hears about it. Like, who are these guys that are here?
Yeah.
Oh, they have this seltzer Happy Dad. Like, and then next thing you know, everyone's trying it.
Does it still shock you that like you get on site and so many people in a bumblefuck middle of nowhere town know you?
It's crazy. And,
Yeah.
and what's crazy now is that, like I said, I made the channel in 2010, and like I think we started selling merch like 2014.
Wow.
Well, at these meetups, people will pull up in merch that we sold, like no lie, 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're still rocking
And
the
they're
merch.
rocking it. And they're like, I've been watching you for 9 years, like 10
That's
years.
so awesome,
which
man.
is crazy. So
That's such a cool journey, man.
But yeah, no, Happy Dad's just it's crushing it. And
Yeah.
it's exactly the way that I wanted to do it.
Was there ever a time that you maybe thought that you weren't going to make it in that? I mean,
In
or
Happy Dad
did-
or just
did
in
Happy
general?
Dad? No, in Happy Dad, did it just kind of?
No, the initial I knew it was gonna. I knew if we had distribution, it was gonna fucking sell.
Yeah.
The only tough part, I knew Nelk could push it. I knew we could get that initial spike. I knew if we had distribution. That's why I looked to John and Sam, and I knew like, all right, these guys are the right people. They're connected. They're smart. They know how to run a business. If they can get distribution and we can cause, the initial hype, this is gonna be a home run.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So, fast forwarding a little bit, I meet you in 2022, and we started a health journey together with you, and it was cool because I think Grutman introduced us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, I want to get dialed in. I'm traveling. I'm not sleeping. I want to get some info, and so we decided we were going to work together, and I got some numbers here because these are astounding. And I always like to, because this is a health and wellness podcast, I always like to talk about what impact has it made on you to have just gotten a hold of your health, like to just improve your sleep and to just start getting some data on your body so that you can better operate your business. And then I want to go into some of the numbers because people are always interested, like, well, what exactly did you do?
I think it's everything, man. I think that like I said, I've been doing this for a while. So I've been traveling, like staying at fans' houses, and then just like you're partying, you're drinking. Like I did that for like, God, we're still not slowed down. We're still not slowed down, but now we're better at, I'm older now, turning 30 next year. So like the hangovers hit me way harder. But back then when you're like 21 to
when you're 21
to like even 25,
youth makes up for everything.
You don't feel shit. So like, dude, we're traveling, we're drinking almost like, I don't know, every day, every like other day.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not thinking, you're just go, 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 go. We're selling merch. We're like getting big videos and stuff. So I definitely was living like an extremely unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it didn't really affect me. But then the older I got, it really started to hit me.
You started to notice it.
Yeah, it started to affect me mentally, especially honestly, as recently as like probably this summer. That's when it really like, I was like, yo, I got to make a change in my life.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to last. Like everything I'm doing is going to be for nothing if I don't have my mental health.
Right.
And my physical health.
And what was the biggest things that were like bringing that to your attention?
I think it was just like just the
Tired?
way I felt after like, like I'm still going out. I'm not like sober or anything, but it's just about balance, right?
You go on
and
a
I
space
think
tomorrow morning.
want a space tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Dude, I love this tactic though.
Yeah,
Go to
yeah.
bed at like a regular normal hour,
Yeah.
then get up at 5 in the morning.
That's just going to be a funny video.
That's going to be awesome. But I thought that was hilarious because you guys are like, we're going to space. I'm like, oh, that's freaking hardcore.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we're actually going to go to bed and then get up and then go to space.
Yeah. But no, it was just adding up. It was just like all those years of drinking and partying, and then the benders. Like if you do 3 days in a row of partying, you're fucking done. Like I'm done now.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I've kind of done that in my life already now. And like I've partied with every celebrity.
Yeah.
I've met everybody. I've experienced so much cool shit that now I'm just kind of just like, it's harder to get me out of the, it's harder to convince me to come out and party.
Yeah.
To be honest, Like I'll go out if it's something dope. Like we went to the Fountain Blue opening.
Yeah, that was sick.
Like those are times where it's like cool shit like that, you know? But if it's not anything like
just to go out and party.
Yeah, just to go out and party, it's just like
not
it's
worth
fun.
it. Well, I mean, when we met, you know, we decided we would take a deep dive and get some data. So we did a gene test, and
2022 is probably fucking, that was almost 2 years ago. So that was like,
oh yeah,
that was probably really bad.
You want to hear the numbers?
Sure.
I mean, I know you know these, but you might have forgotten them. So some of the things that we looked at were, you know, how's the liver doing? Like, I mean, you know,
that was probably down in the dumps.
Oh, it was taking quite the beating, my friend.
Was it?
Yeah, it was taking quite the beating. So
what was it on like a scale of 1 to 10? Like on the rankings?
Like a 2. If 10 is really good and 1 is like
2 out of 10 liver function.
It's like 2 out of
That's
10,
pretty dope,
3 out of 10. So there's a measure of like the enzymes, the amount of inflammation, the amount of irritation in the liver. These were triple digit in some cases. AST.
So you know I wasn't lying.
Oh, you definitely weren't lying.
Yeah. Okay.
These, if you want to know if he was really partying, I can prove that he was partying right here. So when what happens in the liver is like when it gets inflamed or irritated, it slows down its filtration rate. So the poison levels rise, something called alkaline phosphatase. The enzymes rise, AST, ALT. So these are through the roof. Your cholesterol level for, at the time, 27-year-old male was through the roof. You have virtually no vitamin D3 in your bloodstream. Very high levels of sugar in the blood. Your hemoglobin A1C, like the 3-month average of your blood sugar. And for a 27-year-old male, your testosterone was in the mid 300s, right? So you can see that the body is not performing like a 27-year-old male because the liver's inflamed, the kidneys are a little irritated, you know, testosterone's down, you know, your blood fat's high, you know, kind of hormones are off, your sugars are really high, you're on your way to being pre-diabetic. And the reason why I put this message out there, and I appreciate you allowing yourself to be vulnerable, is that there's a lot of 27-year-olds running around right now that don't think they can be killed by a bullet, right? Like they're still living their best life and not maybe realizing, you know, maybe now is the time to make the shift. And you fast forward to today. I mean, I think most people are familiar with your change. You know, we have a lot of overlapping, you know, followers out there, but it is astounding what you've done physically, but internally, I mean, your liver function is through the roof now. There's no inflammation. There's no inflammation. So
like out of 10, what is it now?
Like a 9.5.
Whoa.
Almost a 10. You know, your enzymes in your liver show no inflammation, no irritation. Your poison levels, the alkaline phosphatase is way down. The filtering rate of your kidneys is through the roof. It's gone from in the 70s to like 117, which for anybody that knows what that number is, EGFR, it tells me how quickly is blood moving through your kidneys. So the more inflamed they get, the slower the blood goes through. The slower the blood goes through, the more the poison levels, blood urea nitrogen, creatinine. So these things start, you know, creeping up. Your sugars are perfect. Your hemoglobin A1C, the 3-month average of your blood sugar, you're no longer insulin resistant. Your triglycerides are perfect. Your cholesterol's in a great range. Your testosterone's in the 860, almost 900 range, right? And you're not, I want to just make it known, you're not on testosterone, right? We, you know, our clinical team did not put you on hormones. And so aside from getting the testing and taking some multivitamins and getting on the program, like what are some of the changes you made lifestyle wise, exercise wise, sleep wise? Because these are major
I think
changes.
Even when I met you, when we did our first initial test, I was always just in and out of the gym.
Okay.
So I'd be consistent for like a month, and then I would travel, which I had to do for work and, you know, film, and then we'd be partying, and then I'd kind of fall off. And then when I'd come back home, I'd try to pick it up again. Yeah. But I think in my mind, I kind of was just making a mental excuse. I think that I was like, kind of whenever I traveled, I was like, oh, it's going to be impossible. Like I was like, there's no way. Like I'm going to be
just take 3 days
I'm going to be in
I'll
a different city every 3 days. Like I'm not going to get access to good food. So I think I was just creating that mental excuse in my mind. So, you know, when you're home, it's definitely 10 times easier. Right. On the road, it's definitely a challenge to find good food. And like, you know, you might be in the airport, you might be hungry, and there's only like sandwiches and pizza and shit. So it does make it tough, but there's definitely ways to get it done. And I think that, I think just this summer, I kind of honestly just hit like a breaking point.
Yeah.
Like it was so much partying. And like, I just, after one weekend, I put it on my Instagram, called it the Legendary Toronto Bender.
Yeah.
And it was just 3 days, just partying with my hometown boys. Just,
Oh, boy.
we just went crazy. I want to write a book about it one day, I said, but,
Tell all of
or
them.
make a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, after that, I was just like, yo, like I got to make a change.
Yeah.
Like I seriously have to.
I
'cause-
remember the call, actually.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm ready, dude.
Yeah.
I want to go
And it just clicked.
all in,
Yeah.
balls out. So I want to be specific about what we did. So first, we put you on a methylated multivitamin called
Yeah.
10X Optimize. And what this was designed to do was to give you all the nutrients you're deficient in: methylfolate, B complex, the specific B vitamins like methylcobalamin. These are just vitamins and amino acids that are already in your bloodstream, but we just dose them properly for you. Because the liver was like irritated and inflamed, we use something called glutathione. And glutathione is the most prevalent antioxidant in the human body. It's actually made by the liver. Every single cell in your body contains glutathione. So we started you on a glutathione supplement. You could see your liver enzymes, the liver just calming down, like the efficiency of it coming back. And then we did simple things like IVs, nutrient IVs. I know you're a big fan of those. We started to make sure that you were hydrating. You're on the hydrogen water bandwagon now. And then you made
The electrolytes you told every morning.
Yeah, electrolytes every morning because you were working out, I think, before you were eating. So electrolytes and amino acids in the morning before workouts. And then you really put in the work. I mean, when you take the toxic load off the body and then you give it the raw materials it needs to do its job: glutathione, methylated multivitamins, sodium in your water in the morning. And now, like today, I was pretty impressed because you've been here all day and you had your food delivered, not from Uber Eats, but you actually had, the chef that made your stuff. And, I'm super impressed by that. And once you feel the way you feel now, how hard is it to stay on the program?
It's easy because like you said, it's just like what I basically said was like, listen, I still like going out. I like having fun, obviously. So I was like, I'm just going to keep it to once a week. Yeah. Once a week. Every week I'm going to earn the send. That's what I called it. Earn the send. So it's like Monday to Saturday morning. Like Saturday morning, I'd still hit a lift, maybe even a 2 a day before the send Saturday night. Go back and run some cardio.
The send Saturday.
Yes, every Saturday was a send.
Okay.
And then Sunday's a rest day. Like Saturday, you go out, you have fun. Sunday, probably maybe do some cardio, maybe a little cheat meal Sunday too. Okay. And then back to work Monday. So I did that, and I said I'm going to do this for 120 days, and I found the best way. That I just had to put some mental pressure on myself too. So once I got you on board and I knew, all right, Gary's got my back. Now I got to do what I got to do. Right. And I just posted it and I said like, yo, I'm doing this. And I just wanted to put pressure on myself. Because I knew the fans would roast me if I didn't do it. Right. So I was like, I'm going to put pressure on myself. I'm going to do this. And then I just stuck to that. One send a week, 120 days. And I was on the road for 2 months. Wow. At one point, yeah.
And you
like
never
2 months.
And you never missed. So what's like a typical day for you?
If I was at
a day on the road.
If I was at and sometimes I'd have to go to three bars a week. So I would just I would go in and I would just have like 3 happy dads and chill. Right. And I wouldn't if there was chicks at the bar, let's say one wanted to come back or something, I was like, no, I'm going to bed. I'm waking up, I'm working out, Right. There's so many temptations, right? And everyone's always trying to drag you out. Yo, come out to this, come out to this. I'm like, unless it was my night to party, I did not go. Dude, I didn't care who it was. I don't care what it was. I was like, this is what I have to do.
Dude, I love that because I always talk, I talk a lot about like keeping small promises to yourself. Like simple things like, I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock tonight and then go to bed at 10 o'clock.
The structure is important.
Yeah.
Now what I have.
Structure is important, keeping that structure for yourself. Because you promised the fans, but also internally you promised yourself.
I promised myself. Yeah, that was more for me. And I was just like, you offend a lot of people as well too. Because no one really understands. And I think for us too, everyone's always trying to box you into a certain category, right? So they're always boxing me in as what do you mean? You're the partier, you're the drinker, Right. So it's you do offend, I think, some people, and they're like, what do you mean you don't want to come out? They think it's because of them. And it's like, dude, I'm just trying to I'm on this mission for myself. Right. You might offend some people to get where you want to be, right?
Yeah. So what is a typical day especially on the road?
During that?
Yeah, during that.
So for the first 60 days, I pretty much kind of did keto. Okay. I cut grains.
Yeah, so smart.
No rice, no bread, just high fats, high protein,
So good. You instantly feel better.
And then I was just eating meat and cucumbers pretty much.
Really?
For 60 days. Yeah, and like avocado, like fats, healthy fats.
Okay.
So kind of keto variant,
And
I guess.
also
like
easy
carnivore.
to get when you're on the road. Like,
exactly. It was more of a mental thing because we're always eating at restaurants, right? So I think in my head, if I was like, all right, I'm allowed to have healthy carbs, then when that bread comes to the table, you're kind of like, okay, well, I can have like a piece of white bread. But if it's no carbs, it's like, yo, I can't eat that bread. I can't have carbs.
Right.
So it's more of a mental thing, I think, just cutting grains and like bread totally. It helped me sustain it on the road.
And how soon did you start to feel better? Like how quickly did it kick in and you were like, okay, I'm on to something?
Like pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was tough at first to cut those grains.
Yeah.
But after like a month, I really saw, I was losing fat, I was burning fat. And then, I'd pretty much do a lift every morning. And then I would do conditioning after the lift, like a HIIT circuit style workout for like 30 minutes.
And
so
in
that
the
was
beginning,
intense.
were you just like, fuck?
No, because I was always like in and out of the gym. So I wasn't totally like performance wise, I wasn't totally like out of shape. It was definitely hard. The HIIT shit's hard. The circuit, like burpees and circuit stuff. But yeah, I would do that. And then at night, I would also do 45 minutes of steady state.
Wow.
So I would do it 2 a day, 6 days a week.
Wow.
Maybe if it was legs, I would not do conditioning that day.
Yeah.
But I did that.
And the mirror starts responding fast too. You're like, you go to brush your teeth and you're like, whoa.
And the other thing I actually
did
to keep myself accountable is I said that during the process, I'm going to post a weekly photo every single Friday on Instagram. And the reason I did that was because keep myself accountable. Accountability was really key.
Yeah.
It's like in high school, like some teachers didn't check your homework and some did. You know what I mean? Like, and if the teachers that didn't check your homework, like you probably didn't do it. Like, you need to have there needs to be a consequence, So whenever there was a temptation on the road or something, I always thought like, oh, okay, like there's this one party tonight, like this does sound dope, like, but I'm like, shit, I got to post a photo in 3 days. And if it looks like shit, I'm going to get roasted. Yeah. So I was like, okay, fuck that. I'm going to bed.
All right. Did you ever like miss one of those, or were you like really focused on?
No,
by the way, I like those bite-sized goals.
I don't think I cracked. The only reason I would ever do it if it was Happy Dad related, business related, like or if I had to go out to like a bar. But if it wasn't my night to party, I just kept it like I would just chill, have some casuals, not go like crazy. Right. The key was going to bed at a good time to where I could get enough sleep, because I'd have to wake up. Like on the road, we'd have to leave sometimes at like 9:30 a.m. the next day. So I would have to.
Were you driving to most of these places? Were you flying? Kind of a combo?
Both. Yeah, maybe it was catching a flight at 10 a.m. So if you have to have a flight at 10 a.m., you got to be there at 9. So I'd have to get enough sleep to be able to wake up, hit a lift, eat, get in that car to get to the airport. Yeah. So it was all about just time management and.
Yeah, I mean now my
you got to sleep
knows,
too, right?
Like, that's the most important.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was about just getting to bed.
Yeah. Not just getting to bed and staying on your phone for 3 hours, because that can happen.
Get to bed, get that sleep, because I'm also doing a 2 a day. Yeah. So it's like if I'm not sleeping, then I'm.
But I think when you start doing 2 a days, it actually helps you sleep, because you get that good kind of tired. Yeah. Like right now, right around 10:30, if I'm not in bed, my body starts powering me down.
I'm out by like 9.
I'm up at 5:36, but even being up at 9, your body will start to power.
I'm out by 9.
Oh, you're out by 9.
Like 9, like 9:30, like
What time are you in the gym in the mornings?
7.
Yeah. So, when like I say, everybody sees what happens on the outside. I mean, what's happening on the inside is the real magic, because, I love that you're setting short-term goals, and the mirror is kind of giving you this feedback that you're on the right track.
But I feel physically, I feel amazing too.
But internally, you're like, feel like you're thinking more clearly, and like your short-term memories more, and you're contributing to your business. So,
just happier.
And just happier.
Way happier.
Yeah. I mean, like, sick, fat, tired people are now building empires, But so back to the business. I mean, now you got your health in check, you're partying 1 day a week, you're feeling better. Like, what kind of impact is it having on the business? What's going on with Full Send, Happy Dad? Like, where is this machine going?
Yeah. Well, I think the impact it's had on me is like, it just makes you better at everything you do, right? When you're mentally focused and clear, and you create that like accountability for yourself, you learn to apply it to all other areas of your life, right? Yeah. Like, when we're waking up and you're hitting a lift and then you're doing a cold plunge in the morning, bro, you're ready to
We just did one too.
You're ready to take on the day after that. Like nothing's stopping you.
Every time we get in the steam room, he's like, man, I fucking love this steam room, dude. This is my favorite
your
thing at your
setup's
house.
insane here. That's so dope.
Yeah, I love it.
I love coming here. I'm like, you think we're gonna be able to do recovery shit too?
No, we always
try to sneak into that room, and you're like, yeah, get in there.
Yeah, I can't wait to show the thing with you with the goggles, with the hydrogen in the eyes, the ears, the nose, the red light. Then we did steam, cold plunge, hydrogen baths. It's awesome. When you start getting into that kind of thing, you realize how good it makes you feel, and then those become your drugs of choice.
I love when the drug of choice thing is like not just the cold plunge, but the workouts, the whole. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah,
that's what feels so good now. Is that I'm not like trying to do something anymore. Like I physically can't not do it. Yeah. Like it is like a drug.
Yeah.
Like
I saw Dana White posted the other day. He said cold plunge addict or something. I think he was in Bali and he was having these people build a cold plunge there. Yeah. You know, he ships them to hotels, to yachts, to wherever he's going.
It's like fun too. Yeah.
It's fun to figure it out. And like, it's funny. I was at the opening of the Fontainebleau.
And shit.
Yeah. And I was leaving in the morning to go downstairs to the gym, and I saw this dude coming down the hallway with a huge pillowcase full of ice. And I was like, "You doing a cold plunge?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I follow your shit, dude. You got me into it." And he was walking in the hallway with it, but he had gone down to the ice machine with and had a pillowcase full of ice.
That's awesome.
To dump it into the tub. But that's so awesome. But so
with Happy Dad, it was that. Happy Dad is our main business venture that we're focused on.
Okay.
We have a few other things that we're doing too, but Happy Dad is that minimum $1 billion play for us.
That's
for sure.
great, man.
For sure. And we just
the traction you guys have, Snoop Dogg, Dana White in the UFC. I mean, just, where the associations I see with your brand now, when you think of where you came from and building it organically from a non-paid YouTube channel to where it is now. And you hear about these certain tipping points, choosing the right partners, making a choice in your health, switching to, merch from trying to just monetize YouTube. I mean, these are really important decisions. And I think really important tipping points on the journey.
Yeah.
And now, so what Happy Dad now is on its way to
2024 is going to be a huge year for us. Yeah. And like I said, with the partners, like Sammy's an absolute fucking robot. That guy,
I know.
Like he's the CEO of Happy Dad. He's running the operation, and that guy does not stop. He's the hardest worker I know by far. He does not stop.
Yeah. Do you think the mullet has anything to do with it?
It must,
because he just recently got the mullet. I'm just wondering if that.
Yeah, it must be the mullet. I don't know what it is, but yeah, he'll go out, like he'll be at the club with us, and then he'll be doing emails 2 hours later. Like he's always on his laptop. He's always doing emails. He's just he's dialed. He's the definition of dialed. And then John is obviously just a genius too, in every way. And he's another one of the hardest workers I know. Yeah.
Super hard worker.
He killed his health journey too.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been on an amazing health journey with him, before his wedding, he really wanted to flick the switch. And even on the podcast, he was like, I used to wake up in the morning and I used to pray that my wife would not find me dead in bed. And I was like, wow, that's intense. And that's a gripping moment when, you've got a business venture that's taking off and you're engaged and you're getting married and you have those kind of thoughts on your mind. But he has been, and Sammy both have been incredibly generous to me too. I mean, they reached out to me when I first started the podcast and they're like, dude, we want to get behind this. We want to help you. I don't own a bit of it, but I want to treat it like it's my own. I mean, they plugged us into Spotify. I mean, John's done.
Yeah, John just likes to see people that he cares about.
He really does,
too.
Man. It's such a rare.
And I think he likes just helping. He likes helping. Like if he sees potential in you and he knows what you could do, he likes to help and get you to that.
Yeah, he does, and he does a lot of giving without the expectation of receipt. So I mean, he deserves a massive shout out.
Hey guys, I think the most important website you may ever go to is theultimatehuman.com. That's theultimatehuman.com, because on this website, we can directly interact with one another. You can give me suggestions for podcast guests and topics that you'd like to see me cover. You can ask me any question that you'd like. More importantly, you can sign up for my entirely free newsletter. It comes out every single week. I write this so I can get the information to the masses on how to live a healthier, happier, longer, chemical-free life. You can also sign up for a pre-order of my book. And if you'd like to take the genetic test that I talk about all the time, it's available there too. And lastly, you can even see all of the products that I use in my daily life for a chemical-free, healthy living style. A lot of people ask me, what do you use in your daily life, Gary? What do you brush your teeth with and clean your countertops with? Well, it's all there if you'd like to see it. And you can, again, ask me any question that you'd like and get my free newsletter. TheUltimateHuman.com. I promise you that information will help change the trajectory of your life. And now back to the Ultimate Human podcast.
But with Happy Dad, we're launching Canada in February.
Oh wow!
So we're launching
in the U.S. now,
only
right?
in the U.S. Yeah, so we're pretty much launching an entirely new country, which is going to be, that's where I started. So it's going to be insane. Like
Canada.
It's going to be crazy.
Now is Canada kind of like the U.S.? Is it? I mean, obviously alcohol is regulated, but
yeah. Well, it's in Ontario, which is Toronto. Ontario is a population of like 15 million people.
holy
Yeah, Toronto is the third biggest city in North America out of like U.S. I think it's like L.A.,
wow.
New York, Toronto, or Chicago.
Okay.
Third or fourth. So Toronto's like a massive.
And is there a lot of big American brands up there you're competing with too?
Yeah, it's the same brands.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, but we're going to, just because that's where we started, the fans that I told you about that wear merch from like 9 years ago. That's our like base.
Yeah.
So they're going to go crazy for that. And then I know Sammy announced it on your pod, but yeah, Happy Dad's not just going to be like a seltzer company. I personally think that any alcohol that tastes good, that's like a good product. With the Happy Dad name, I think it could live on. So we're launching a hard tea.
A hard tea?
I know Sammy announced it on your pod.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to. Sammy just jumped the gun. Sammy jumped the gun with that announcement. So fuck you. Fuck you, Sammy.
Snip that out, Max?
Yeah, Sammy's
Oh,
like,
we
don't.
just left it on
Sammy's
there.
like, don't announce that anywhere and shit. I watched that he announced it. So. Yeah. But
Don't say a word except on the Ultimate Human podcast.
We're launching a hard tea, which is going to be, I think it could be even bigger than the seltzer. It is so good.
Really?
And if you look at other brands, like all the beer categories obviously going down. Like on the data, beer categories going down. Seltzer is even dipping as well, just because it had such a big spike.
Yeah.
Happy Dad's growing. We're one of the only seltzers that are growing in our category.
Wow.
But the tea category is absolutely booming.
Wow.
Yeah, so we kind of got like lucky. We started it over a year ago too. It took us same thing, a long time to taste test. But other brands have like I said, like 26 grams of sugar.
Yeah, that's insane.
A pop.
Yeah.
Ours is gonna, and again, it's not healthy, but ours has 1 gram of sugar.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, the worst thing is combining sugar and alcohol.
And when we came up with that concept to make a lower sugar one, I was like, all right, well, it's gonna taste a lot worse probably.
Yeah.
But then when I tried ours,
It's gonna have that
I was
chemical
like,
taste.
holy shit, this is fucking gold. So
Dude, that's so awesome.
I know, I feel like I'm just getting too excited about it, but it tastes so good. I can't wait till you guys try it.
Yeah, no, I can't wait, dude. I'm fired.
That's
up for
going to
you
be a
guys.
bomb for us. I think we're going to announce a pretty crazy signing, like someone like out of this world.
Really?
Like one of the most famous people on the planet.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. When you guys have had, I mean, the podcast especially, I mean, you guys have had some insane guests on your podcast. Who, I mean, it's hard to answer that. I mean, I get asked it all the time too. Like, who are, I would say, some of your favorite guests? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Post Malone, Dana White. I mean, it's hard.
I think I have to say Trump. Trump is like just my personal favorite.
Yeah.
I like the first time and the way it went down. Dana got him for us, obviously.
Oh,
right?
he did?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you did it in Atlanta, right?
We did it. Where did we do the first one?
Because you've been on Air Force One.
We did it at Mar-a-Lago, the first one.
Wow.
Yeah. But we went on Air Force One with Dana.
Yeah.
So like, we
So
were
it's
Dana,
you, Steve,
me, Steve,
Shahidi's?
Salim. No,
Salim.
this was
Salim's been on Air Force One, and I haven't been on Air
and
Force One.
I'm Canadian too, so
truly
I'm not
bothers
even
me.
American. So
You're not even American. I want to go on Air Force
But
One.
no, Dana knew we were Trump fans, right?
Yeah.
So then he called us. He's like, "Are you guys like actually Trump fans?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "We went to Fight Week in the COVID bubble in Abu Dhabi, and that's the first time we met Dana."
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, he's like, "Yo, like,
How did you connect with Dana? Like, what was that connection?
his son was a fan, Dana Jr. Dana Jr. fucked with our videos,
Yeah.
and he put Dana onto the videos.
Yeah.
And then Dana thought they were like funny, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think he probably saw the value of like, you know, we could maybe help with the UFC too. And I think he just fucked with us. And yeah, when we met though, we just became friends and same shit.
Yeah.
Just hit it off.
Yeah.
And like, I personally, like, I've been watching UFC since like high school. I've looked up.
But now you go in the VIP area, it's all happy dad.
But like
all
as
over
an
the walls.
entrepreneur, like I've followed Dana White's story since like the beginning.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy that I'm even able to call him a friend. Like
Yeah.
he's someone I looked up to and like he inspired
Same.
me. Like the way they built the UFC and like everyone just sees what it is now.
Yeah, him and the Fertitas.
But like, dude, the UFC, the hurdles and like the battles of every state they had to go through.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Dana White is literally the GOAT. So like,
Yeah.
I literally said if we ever did something with the UFC, it'd be a dream come true. And now that I can actually call him a friend is like, what is life?
Crazy.
You know what I mean?
So he reached out to you and he was like, you want to go on Air Force One? And you were like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, our goal is to kind of help, I guess, Trump with like the young vote, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or like the younger vote. Oh, the fucking vibe. Oh, Sammy's calling me.
You can throw him on speakerphone and be like, hey, we're on a podcast, dude.
Yo, Sammy.
Yo, what up?
I'm just on, I'm doing Ultimate Human right now.
We're shooting a podcast right now. You're live on the podcast, buddy.
Awesome.
I doubled down on your hard T announcement since you jumped the gun and announced it on Ultimate Human. Don't think I didn't see that, and you said don't announce hard T.
I mean, it's Gary put me on the spot.
Yeah, I put him on the spot.
All right.
I twisted it.
Hit me up later. Call me about Canada.
Okay. All right. Peace.
See, he's working.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out to Sammy. But so he calls you and he's like, because obviously it can help get to the younger vote, but and
we were supposed to
you like,
interview him.
holy
We were
shit.
supposed to interview him then, actually. So we were supposed to. This was before the last election,
Okay.
2020.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were supposed to interview him then. So we went on Air Force One. We were going to do the interview. We're all ready to do it. And then last minute, they got cold feet. I think Trump got cold feet or someone on his team did. And they're just like, hey, listen, like, this is really tight right now. We just don't want to take chances with anything going on. Like they probably didn't trust us too, you know?
Yeah,
like,
they were like,
why would
someone
they?
watched your
I'm surprised
videos
we were
and
even, we're like, we
about
don't
to
even,
let these people on Air Force One.
I know. We didn't even know why we're on the plane. Like, we're just like, we honestly get it. Like you shouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
But,
we don't know why we're here either.
But we just met him and they said, you can come in his office, you can film him, but like, we're just going to keep it chill. We're not going to do an interview. So yeah, we walked into his office on Air Force One with Dana and it was just fucking crazy, man. And he was just like exactly like he is on TV, like just the exact same.
Yeah, I've
just
met him a number of
soaks
times,
up
too.
all the energy in the room and just, he was complimenting us, calling us good looking. And
yeah, you don't.
I know. And how old is he? 70, like,
yeah, he's on his
about an
game.
ultimate human.
Yeah.
How does that guy, I wonder that, like how at that age are you able to like they must not sleep much. They must
and the stress that he's
the
got. The
stress.
I mean, yeah. So in any case, you get on Air Force One. When did you actually do the interview with him?
We did the interview. I don't even know exactly what the date was, to be honest. It was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
It was
And
when
did he sit down on a podcast?
it was when the Russia-Ukraine war just broke out.
Okay.
So we thought that would be kind of a good time to reach out to them and say, hey, we want to get you on the pod. So we asked Dana, and Dana's like, let me call him.
Yeah.
So Dana just calls him.
Yeah, let me call him.
24 hours, fucking calls me. He's like, I think he said like, who's your fucking daddy or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
or like
sounds like something he
something
would
like
say,
that.
"Who's
Or
your
like
fucking
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? He's like, Trump's in.
No.
I was like,
Were you like,
whoa. We freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's like, yep, someone from his team's gonna be reaching out to you shortly.
and then you went there
And he's just like, love you, buddy. Call.
and he just sat down. Yeah, it's crazy.
I was
sat
like,
down and
fuck.
just ripped that interview.
Yeah, and then we just pulled up. We did it. And it went super viral. It got 7 million views in 24 hours.
Wow.
And he literally said on the pod, he's like, YouTube's going to delete this.
He did.
He did, yeah.
And they did?
He said, YouTube's going to take this down. And I was like, no, they're not. Because I thought YouTube wouldn't be that obvious to take it down. I was like,
Right.
that'd be too obvious if they took it down. But Trump's like, no, they're going to take it down. It's like, all right, 7 million views, 24 hours, deleted.
No.
Yeah.
No. What did they cite? For
They said, because their policy was you can't talk about election fraud.
Oh.
But they actually reversed that policy like 2 months ago. So now you can talk, like it's actually, they sent the notice like, hey, these are our new changes. Like you're allowed to talk about election fraud now, which is weird. So they should honestly reinstate that pod, but
I wonder if you could throw it back
we should
up.
try. Yeah, actually that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But
I get 15% of that.
100%.
Whatever the ad
Got
sales
you.
are. Yeah.
Got you.
But you're not making any
Yeah,
ad
there's no
sales, so-
ad money on
oh,
that one
shoot.
for sure.
All right. So
But,
that's not my get rich quick scheme.
But yeah, but it kind of, again, when something like bad happens, it kind of works out in your favor too, because it
Yeah.
made it so big.
Yeah.
And then like that night, Trump went on Fox and he's like shouting us out on Fox. He's
No.
like, just did an interview with the Nelk Boys.
Wow.
Fine gentlemen. Like,
Fine
just
gentlemen.
like, you know what I mean? And then he was like shouting us out at rallies.
Really?
Yeah. Like he's like, I just did an interview. Like, you know, the Trump rallies.
Yeah, yeah,
he's
of
like,
course.
oh, just did an interview
That's
with
so
the Nelk
wild.
Boys. Like, and we're like, what the fuck is going
this
on?
Crazy.
Bro?
So did you redistribute it other places on other
Yeah, we threw it up
platforms?
on like Twitter, I think, and we put it on Spotify.
Okay. You probably throw it on Rumble.
Yeah, I think we put it on Rumble too.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's my favorite for sure.
yeah. I mean,
Elon
and
was
you guys-
obviously legendary too.
Yeah, Elon's legendary.
But I just
And-
Trump's
and
just
he's-
such a beauty. Like he's just so funny.
Yeah, he's so. I like Elon because he's so like philosophically intelligent with
Oh,
the
of
way
course.
that he speaks. Whether you like him or love him, and I know he's getting a lot of hate right now, but like I saw him talking about the appearance of doing good versus the actions of doing good, and how he loathes the fact that people out of one side of their mouth, talk about, espouse all these good things that they're doing, but their actions are really evil. And he just calls it out. And he may lose tens of billions of dollars on
Yeah.
Twitter, on that acquisition.
He was cool. Yeah.
But,
He sat with us for like 4 hours too.
yeah.
Crushed like 6 or 7 happy dads.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, he smoked weed on Joe Rogan. So
Yeah, he could
crushed
slam him. He can
crushed
slam him.
He's a big dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah. It's like
he
Trump
was-
is
he
actually
was really
a big
cool.
dude too.
He was sick.
That's awesome. So getting back to the health journey, because I want to really drive home like the impact that it's had. So talk a little bit about the mental aspect, like what's happened to your, like mentally, how much better off are you? I mean, obviously you look a lot better. You look amazing. You're feeling better. You're sleeping better. But like, how's the mental game? Like, what are some things you've noticed?
Like I said, I think it just, it falls into everything else, every aspect of business. I just feel like I'm less lazy. I'm more, less lazy. Definitely, I think is a huge one.
Yeah.
Like not making as many excuses. Like if I have to do, whether it's like researching a podcast or just any task I have to do in the day,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a lot less mentally lazy, if
Wow.
that makes any sense. I'm not creating as many excuses in my mind. I think it's just, you're just more dialed like in
Yeah.
every way. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's so awesome. It's short-term recall. It's your memory. It's your cognitive function. It's that clean, clear, waking energy that you have.
Confidence.
It's the confidence. Dude, that's so awesome. Well,
And then physically, obviously, you just feel great.
yeah. I mean, you feel great, and when you feel great, you're more available for your business. I mean, I always say it's like the hub of the wheel. It touches every single spoke of the wheel, right?
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
touches your relationships. It touches your business, your partnerships. I mean, just at your self-esteem, your self-image. I love how you talked about just keeping those small promises to yourself, putting some fencing around yourself. So you said, I'm going to post this thing every Friday. I'm going to do 2 a days. I mean, it's,
And I think just for like, even just like, if like, I think everyone will get anxiety. Like I would get anxiety sometimes too. And it's just like,
we actually talked about that. Yeah.
like I would get anxiety sometimes, especially after long benders.
Yeah.
Anxiety.
No dopamine.
Yeah, just
Yeah, serotonin
anxiety, like
crashed.
depression, days where you're just feeling down and stuff like that too. So I think this provides, everything I've done with you too. It just provides like a consistent like base for all that stuff to kind of go away, or
Yeah.
like very severely limit it.
Yeah.
If I'm getting anxiety or I'm feeling depressed, it's because I'm fucking up on my shit for sure.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. Like it's all the stuff is such a natural cure
Yeah.
to all that stuff.
So it is.
Like, it's crazy. Like, I would
that's why I
never-
always say I wish people could feel that high because they wouldn't chase anything else.
100%.
That's why I always use the term drug of choice. Like,
Yeah.
the cold plunge is my drug of choice because nothing.
I
makes
look
you feel
forward
better
to
for
it,
longer.
honestly. Like it's just, I love waking up early. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
when you set your alarm for 5:30
Yeah.
and you wake up and it's just it's dark in the morning. It's
Yeah.
peaceful.
I love that.
You wake up and do your routine, hit your workout,
Yeah.
do a plunge in sauna.
Yeah. Like, but most days, like by the time I make it down my hallway and out onto the balcony and it's first light and it's just coming on, and it's before like,
It's like-
all the police sirens and all the construction noise. And it's just like this low hum.
It's the best part of your
out in
day.
the city. Yeah. And the water's so calm and the sun's coming up. I don't know, man. I think it's hard to not have.
And it's hard to explain it to people, I find too, because even after when I did my transformation, a lot of people hit me up and they're like, how'd you do it? But it's always the most simple shit you're telling them, right? It's like, dude, just get in there, like be consistent. Like, but I think it clicks for
Consistency and
everyone
discipline, I
at
think,
a
are the
certain
best.
time.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince people. I think everyone hits that point themselves.
Yeah.
And until you hit it yourself, you're never going to be really consistent, you know? It's got to click in your own mind.
Yeah, I agree. Well, dude, this has been amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, this has been a long time coming, and I'm glad we got to really chop it up like this. But
And I appreciate you taking me on. I know you got a lot of huge A-listers and stuff, so I appreciate you're always
no, I
taking
remember
care of us,
getting that
hitting
call
us
from
up.
you, and you're like, I'm dead serious, and I'm like, I'll go on this journey with you. But I was like, I don't like to fail, and I want to, you
100%.
convinced me that you were committed, and you were, man. You flicked that switch, and I mean, the transformation proves it. I always say labs don't lie. You can't hide from the data, so the data proves it, and nothing makes me happier than being a part of this part of people's journey, and then watching them crush it in other areas of their life because we've been able to just get their health right.
Right.
So I wind down every podcast by asking every podcast guest the same question, and there's no right or wrong answer about it. But I always like to know, what do you think, or what does it mean to you to be an ultimate human?
I think everybody's different, and I think it's just, it probably simmers down to just like being the best in like what you do in your field. I think, everyone has a different job and everyone has different roles, but I think just being the best performing, I don't even know actually.
Like the best version of yourself?
Best version of yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
And being able to do like what you're supposed to do at the highest performance.
And do you feel like at 30 you're now the best version of yourself?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're a better
I
version
think
of
so.
yourself
I
now
think
than
as
you were in
like,
your
yeah,
20s?
like as I'm kind of like a leader in this group that I'm in, So I think, yeah, I have to be an ultimate human to be like the best leader I could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, brother, thank you,
Yeah,
man. I
appreciate
appreciate
you.
you coming
Thank you.
on. This has been
Congrats on the
amazing.
pod. It's
Yeah.
amazing. So
Thank you so much.
appreciate you.
Hey guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed the podcast. Kyle Forgard. I will put links below to Happy Dad and everything that we talked about on the podcast today. Give these guys, a follow. And if you haven't had a Happy Dad seltzer, we actually had them back here on the shelf. I don't.
Someone crushed them.
Yeah, there was a lot of them back there. I did not drink them, but as always, that's just science.